Hello motorheads, I am back and this time with a Q&A video. So now you're going to learn everything about the Avenger Street 220. So first question, the first question is from Aditya V. He wants to know the basic repairs on the Avenger Street 220. To answer that, let me clarify that I actually don't know anything about basic repairs or maintenance. I'm just going to tell you what I know. Since you asked about maintenance on the road, meaning that on the long tours and trips, all you need to do is have a puncture kit with you. That's the first thing. Second thing is the chain lube. Actually, first is the chain lube, because chain lube is more important than the puncture kit. You don't have to worry about punctures on this bike because this gets tubeless tire now. The one that I am driving is with tubeless tires. I know there's a lot of confusion between tubeless and tube tires. A lot of people say that they have tube tires, and one even commented that he fixed a puncture a while ago and it was a tube tire. To those I say, yes, you are right, you are not wrong. But the Street when launched was tube tire, but now after launching for I think it's been around, it was launched in 2015, so in 2016 November month I think they silently updated their lineup and provided tubeless tires. However, still the Cruise 220 still gets tube tires, but for the new stock, the Street 220 and the Street 150 both get tubeless tires. So you don't have to worry about punctures on this bike. I know that there's still a chance that you might experience that, but chance of that happening are very less. Depends on what route are you picking, what is the road condition and all. If you are majorly driving on the highway, then I don't think so you'll get into trouble. So that's not the issue. The second thing that you need to carry, and this is a must, mark my words, this is the most important accessory to have when you are on the highway. It's the chain lube. If you can get chain cleaned as well, that will be very helpful. See, the Street 220 is an open chain case, so it attracts a lot of dust, dirt, and after a while it gets a lot of jam because of it gets jammed because it's an open case, so it attracts all these things, and what happens is the friction increases, the heat increases, so you cannot do a lot about that, especially when you are on a trip. So my suggestion will be to get this cleaned up from a mechanic. I think you will encounter some mechanics on the trip as well, I think. So you can get that cleaned up, but don't let them lube it, because they will apply some grease or some other oils, mobile oils and stuff, which is not good. To actually and cleanly perform this, you need a chain lube. You can buy a Motul one. It will come around 245-300 rupees. It's not that costly, and it's recommended to apply it every 300 to 500 kilometers. So plan accordingly. If you are going for a long trip like 2000 kilometers or 3000 kilometers or more than that, then you have to keep in mind that you have to lube your chain once every 300 to 500 kilometers. That's the tip I can offer for long roads. And basic repairs, you need to have your toolkit, and also you need to know where your fuse and circuitry is. On the Street 220, on your right side, just below the tank, you have a compartment which stores the battery. Right next to it is the toolbox, and right below it are the fuses. One is for ignition and the other one is for lights and stuff. So there's also a spare fuse available right next to these, so you can use them in case of an emergency. What else can you do? So this basic covers the basic repairs. Nothing else is going to worry you that much. So this was about basic repair and maintenance. Next will be, someone asked for a black windshield. Someone named Sam Rollins asked about black windshield on this, and yes, you have a good question there. Let me tell you about this in my way, because my friend bought this bike before me. There's a friend of me who bought it for like a year now. He's using it, and when he came up to me for the first time, he already installed the black windshield on it, and I think it looks good. But as per practicality and function goes, it's not that big of an issue. But to me, there was a bit of an issue when you're driving straight line. You don't really have to worry, because you will, most of the time you will be seeing from above the windshield, so the black windshield doesn't matter. But sometimes you'll have to look down on your front wheel. Those times you will actually have to worry about the visibility, because visibility gets hindered a lot. But that's the only concern. Apart from that, if you are concerned about the looks, I think it looks good on the black windshield. So that's my opinion about the windshield. And DJ Bass, I'm really horrible with names, sorry, asked me about Royal Enfield on long runs. Buddy, if you know anything about Royal Enfields, they are known for their touring abilities, their cruising abilities. So I'm not going to just plainly say that they are bad, they are not worth it. That's not I'm going to say. I'm just going to say that even I was concerned about this when I was going to purchase the bike, and in my mind there was a lot of research about. I did a lot of research. I R&D'd a lot about what bike I'm going to get, and there was a time when I was almost confused between three bikes: Apache RTR 200, Royal Enfield Classic 350, and this Street 220. And I think if you are particularly asking about Royal Enfield, they are a great tourer. To me, however, I would prefer Street 220 over Royal Enfield any day, just because the practicality. Royal Enfield bikes are made like a gun. Indeed they are. So some find flaws in it, some find it not that comfortable to ride. Some think that it's the most comfortable bike in the world. Maybe it is. To me, however, Street 220 is far more comfortable, and that's the only reason I got Street 220 and not a Royal Enfield. I do have a Royal Enfield at home. It's Classic 350. It belongs to my father. The engine is good. They have come a long way. Royal Enfield is improving every day. But still, if I am asked to choose between Royal Enfield or Bajaj Street 220 or Bajaj Avenger bike, any bike like Cruise, Street 150 or Street 220 or the old models, I will prefer Street 220 or the Cruise 220. On the long road, on the long tours, I think I will go with Street 220 because of the tubeless tires. But between Royal Enfield and Bajaj Avenger, I will strictly choose Bajaj Avenger for a few things. First is the comfort level. Second is the weight of the bike. Third is the ergonomics. It's just plain that in your hand. Like I cannot describe it. It's just style over function. That's it. Functionality of Street 220 is bigger than Royal Enfield in my mind. I think you are not aware of this, but I recently did a trip of around 2,800 kilometers both ways. So I went from Delhi to Maharashtra, and it was 1400 going, 1400 coming, so it was around 2,800 kilometers, and I did it with the new Bajaj Street 220, and I came back seriously mightily impressed. The bike is amazing. The bike handles like a charm. There's no other way to describe it. It was a solo ride. It was my first that long trip. I've done trips that are shorter than this, around 600 kilometers, but this was around 2800 kilometers, so I can say that the bike did no trouble at all. And I took the bike when the bike was merely 1200 kilometers old, but when I came back it was around 4000 kilometers. So that was it, and there was no fatigue at all. It took me around 3 days to go and 3 days to come back, and I stayed there for 2 or 3 days. I basically went for Shady. So that's my opinion on it. I've just been on Street 220 for 2800 kilometers on the saddle, and I can vouch for the bike. The bike gave me no trouble at all. I carried chain lube with me, first motul, but it got misplaced at the hotel, so then I purchased an aftermarket roll-on something named chain lube. It worked decent enough, no complaints there. So for 2000 kilometers ride DJ base, I will go for Street 220, or for any ride for that matter. Even if I am going for a 100 kilometer ride, I would pick up my Avenger Street 220 and ride on careless. So I hope I answered your questions. Next is price. Okay, the price of the pillion backrest. Someone named Amateur Rider asked me about the price. He says that workshop quoted around 2500 rupees for the backrest. I am going to post my bill copies, photos of my bill copies on this video, and I can tell you that it costs around 850 rupees. That's it. And more than that, if you are actually looking for the answer about the repair charges or the fitting charges, the labor charges, they are going to charge you around 250-300 rupees max. So even if you take everything high on the consideration, you'll end up with 1200 rupees at most. About this I can vouch, because after watching my video, my friend who got the Street 220 before me, he had a tube tire, by the way. He does not have tubeless tires. He went for the same shop that I got pillion backrest, and it cost him exactly 1200 rupees, because he is not in the warranty anymore. So labor charges plus the part charges, everything was done in 1200 rupees. So I hope I answered your question. The next question is article number of equipments. I'm going to post the bills at the end of this video, and you can see the article numbers on the bill. Ask Manu Sharma. This was asked by Manu Sharma. I hope I answered your question. So do check the last part of this video, where I'm going to post the photos of the bills. Next is, I think, Windshield in black by Bull Rides. Okay, I already talked about it, so I think I answered your question. Then the question is from Pankaj Kumar Tiwari. He asked the price of windshield. Hello Pankaj, thank you for the compliment, thank you for the comment. And the price of windshield goes at about 1500 rupees if you get it done aftermarket from Karol Bagh. And if you want to get it done from Bajaj workshop, then it will cost you around 2300 rupees. If you get at any cheaper rates than this, then it's a thumbs up for you. But I think the price, as far as the workshop price goes, it stands around 2300 rupees. That's it. Then the next question is from Travel TV. He asked about the address. The address, first of all, thank you for the comment, and thank you Travel TV. This is another channel, and he is doing some good works as well. Do check that out. And right now I can tell you that the address for this, buddy, I'm not sure where you live, but if you live in Delhi, this was done at JS Bajaj Buradi. So if you want to know exact address, come to my home. I live nearby. I will take you there. And the next question will be tubeless tires. There's a lot of confusion going around. Tarun Dikshit, Mitesh Mahatre, Kumud Ranjan, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, ask about tubeless tires. They have some confusion regarding the tubeless tires. There should be no confusion regarding it, as you can see that I am driving, and I'm driving the bike with tubeless tires. I'll just park my bike sometime later on, and I will show you that the bike does come with tubeless tires. If you are still concerned, then I will post photos that clearly show that the bike is now tubeless tires enabled. Then the question is the backrest price. I discussed it already. It stands at around 850 rupees the parts, and 300 rupees or 350 rupees for the labor charges. It will stand around 1200 rupees. That's it, no more than that. That will be the backrest price. This was asked by Jitendra Charan and Vishal Verma. Next question is from Akhil S. Anil. He asks about screws to be fixed on the opposite direction so that it won't look bad. But there's a lot of scope to do, and you are right, you can do it. I tried it and it goes perfectly fine, no issues there. But if you actually want to do this, then I would recommend not to, because the things provided with the windshield already look good. I think that's the best way to keep it. So that's the only issue, and you can do it if you want. And the next question is from KH Natesa, or KHNATESA. I don't know how to pronounce this, I'm really sorry, I'm horrible with names, but asks about seat cover. So my opinion on seat cover is that the only brand that I will vouch for that you can buy blindly will be Joyride. Search for Joyride and you will find amazing quality seat covers for every bike, every category available on their site, and it's a good brand. It's a good seat. It provides protection against heat. No one can harm your bike seat when that is on. I actually bought it, but it's back at my place. I bought it, but I cannot use it anymore because I got my seat extended. Someone asked about extra foam on my back seat. Yes, I got it extended because that's the mandatory mod you should do on your Street 220. If you are an owner of a Street 220, this is the mod that you should do for sure. Because I know that the seat on the Bajaj Avenger Street is really amazing, and there's no other word for it. There's no better seat in the market right now, but that's for the rider only. For the pillion, it's the most horrible seat ever made, I think, because first of all it's narrow, second of all it's a bit harsh. So when a person sits behind you, they will not be that much comfortable riding, especially when you're riding on high speeds or doing a long trip. So what is it that you need to do? You just need to go to a seat shop, a seat repair shop, and just get an extra foam attached to it from right and left. They will extend it. It will cost you around 300 to 400 rupees max, but it is a very mandatory mod that you can do. Next question is from Navneet KR, and he asks about cruise handlebar on street. You are spot on, buddy, and your question is the same question that went inside my head when I was going to buy this bike. I actually was very much confused between Cruise 220 and Street 220, because let me tell you my honest opinion. When I was on my tour, I felt that I will post some photos of myself when I was on a trip, and you will see that I have arranged my bags in such a manner from the bungee cords that it kind of makes more sense. My back was getting the support that I needed for the long trip, but there was just one issue. If only the handlebars on the Street 220 were a bit backward, just like on the cruise, it would have been very amazingly comfortable so that I can lean back on my bags. But that was not the case, so I was confused at the time when I was going to purchase the bike. Everything that's good is available on Cruise, like the pillion backrest and the comfortable handles, the windshield, etc. But I went with Street 220 because I knew I have to go on long tours, and without tubeless tires you cannot do it. Here I am showing you that the Street 220 does come with tubeless tires, and I cannot find it on my front, so I found it on my back. Here you can see that's written tubeless, so maybe you cannot see it clearly. I will post some photos for you. So yes, where was I? Yes, I was on the question about handlebars. So I was very much confused between Cruise and Street, but I made up my mind for Street 220 just because tubeless tires were offered and the mat looks extremely good. It gives you a feel of a premium bike. So when I went there for the handlebar change, they told me that it is possible. It's not hard at all. They can just ask for the handlebars from Cruise, but there's a bit of a problem because the Cruise handlebar is a bit high. So you have to change the wires and stuff, and that comes costly. That goes at around 1200 to 1500 rupees, and it's not that much worth it. Instead, what I would recommend you is to visit Karol Bagh. If you are in Delhi, then Karol Bagh, go to Naiwala Road, find a shop named Khajachi. I think you know it already. They have awesome handlebars available from 300 rupees to 1000 rupees, and you can find them in any shape comfortable to you, and they will install it for I think 100 rupees. So it will cost you around, if you get a 300 rupee handlebar, it will cost you around 400 rupees, and so on. So go there. I think to be honest, I'm going to do this mod soon, and you can install them on your bike, but only the short ones. If you go for long ones there as well, then they have to extend the wire and the budget goes up. That's it. So Cruise handlebar can be installed with a bit of more hard work and more expense, but I would not recommend it. Just go for a simple handle that you can buy aftermarket and install it on your bike, so that you don't have to worry about the wirings and stuff. And I think you can find a perfect balance between that high and somewhere between. More on this, I would like to say that I am going to do this mod because, as I told you, first mod that is necessary on this bike is the extra padding and seat extension a bit from left and right for the pillion. Second necessary mod will be pillion backrest. Third necessary mod will be the windshield, whether you install it from aftermarket or get it done at the Bajaj workshop. If you go for Bajaj workshop, that is I would recommend it more because it's safe. First of all, it's a good quality one. And fourth necessary mod on this bike would be the handlebar, if you want to do it, because it changes a lot of ergonomics. So you have to keep in mind that this mod will cost you a lot of money. First of all, not a lot of, but more money than anything else. If you get it done into raised handlebars, because raised handlebars will result in wire extending and stuff. So that's it. I think I covered all the questions you were asking, and I hope I clarified some doubts that you were having about tubeless tires, windshield, pillion backrest. And now for the remaining of this video, I'm going to talk about my review of Bajaj Street 220. See, I was confused between three bikes: Royal Enfield Classic 350, Apache RTR 200, and this one. I actually didn't get for Classic 350 because my father was getting it, one thing. So the last thing that was remaining was between two, Apache RTR 200 and the Street 220. I almost went for Apache RTR 200, even so far as I almost paid the booking amount, 5,000 rupees, to the TVS showroom. But the last moment I decided, the last day actually, the day I was going to pay the booking amount to the dealership, I decided that I was not going to buy TVS Apache RTR 200, not because it's a bad bike, but someone put some sense into me that if you are going to drive long tours and stuff, then you should buy a bike that is comfortable, and Bajaj Street 220 is the pinnacle of convenience and comfort. So I went with this. I've driven it for around 5,500 something kilometers, and it runs like charm. And this is just my opinion, but when I bought this bike, it was butter smooth. Then I went for the service and I went on a trip, and this became harsh. I went for second service, but still this was harsh. I went to the workshop again and they fixed it somehow. I don't know what they did, but they aligned the chain properly, or maybe something they did there and messed around with the idle screw, and now this is butter smooth. My personal review of this bike is it was a good purchase. I don't regret my decision at all. Build quality, you will be surprised, and Bajaj has come a long way. I can tell you, just based my opinion. This opinion of mine is just based upon the review of this bike. I have previously owned a Bajaj Pulsar 135. Actually, I didn't own it, it was my brother's, but that was not a good experience for me. The maintenance cost was on a higher side, the resale value was not that good, and it was giving trouble a lot. So I have this image, most of people still do, that Bajaj does not make good bikes. I think based on my experience with this bike, I can say that Bajaj has come a long way, and technology used in this bike is good. Now when I drive this bike, this is so butter smooth that I am joyous all the time. That's my review. I did 2,800 kilometers on this bike. I came back on 7th of February 2017. I went to Shirdi, and when I came back, I was not tired at all, first of all, and since I had my leave, I applied for a few more days of leave, so I had spare leaves, and then I decided that I should do another trip. So on 9th, I took my bike out and went to my hometown, which is around 300 kilometers from Delhi. It's in Uttarakhand, Haldwani. So I can say that the stress on a rider's body is everything when you are doing a long trip, and this bike made it so convenient that I was able to come back from a 2,800 kilometer trip and then decide to go on another 600 kilometers long trip. So that's my review. It's an awesome bike. If you are going to buy it, please buy it, and if you have any questions, do tell me. And that's it. I hope I answered all your questions. This is me signing out. Take care.